welcome to Walkertown, North Carolina on this Monday night high school basketball. Just a couple minutes past 8 o'clock. Corey Hodges here with you on SUV TV. Welcome to everyone joining us tonight for Lake Norman and Gospel Light. That's where it's all going down as we approach the end of the regular season. And Lake Norman at 17-5, 3-2 in their conference or region. Taking on Gospel Light. Of course, Lake Norman coming in after the big win on Saturday against Ypsi Prep down in Greenville, South Carolina at Bob Jones University, in which Trey Green hit a big three-ball late. Mikey was there too, but that's another big story tonight as Gospel Light and Lake Norman take each other on a Monday. No Mikey tonight. So, Osprey will be without the star attraction as Mikey Williams is nursing a groin injury. He announced that on Instagram a little bit earlier today, just to let everyone know. Apparently it's been bothering him throughout the season, and as a result, Mikey, after a couple of hectic games playing on Friday night and Saturday and going through that Friday, Saturday back-to-back, deciding to go ahead and rest tonight, get ready for the upcoming playoffs, because that's probably the most important thing right now for Mikey and Lake Norman, the upcoming postseason. So it's Gospel Light and Lake Norman on a Monday night from Walkertown, and we're off and away on SUV TV. Welcome to everyone joining us this evening, and we'll check in on our viewers here shortly. Joyful Hawkins will start it off trying to dump it. Target was Curtis, but it got knocked away. Here's Gospel Light now with Jerron Walker. Drew Walker has it. Walker wants to turn, but he got double teamed for a moment. Back to the top in Walker. Now the drive, and it just rolled off for Drew Walker. So still scoreless as Joyful Hawkins gets it for Lake Norman. Now kick it back out. Ball moves around. Robinson gets it to Hawkins, and now Hawkins will drive. He'll dump it off to Curtis. Kick out. A.J. Allen's back and deductive. That one rolled in and out for Jonathan Curtis. Curtis will stay with it. That one rolls. Lost out of bounds. It'll stay here with Lake Norman. So a little uncharacteristic trouble for big Jonathan Curtis down there, who's had as much talk as anyone on this Lake Norman team. Allen Spack gets it back. Now he'll drive. He'll dump it to Jonathan Curtis, and Curtis will slam it down with both hands. And Lake Norman leads 4-0, 5:55 to go first quarter. That's what Lake Norman can do. They can play well with their bigs. It's not a team that relies on those guards to get the bigs involved. They're fine doing it themselves. Gospel Light still scoreless. They'll go inside now to Roberts. Nothing there on the mid-range for Acosta, so Jerron Walker at the top now against Clay Robinson. Walker, dribble handoff to Drew Walker, and now Drew Walker trying to go all the way after the DHO, and he does. Lays it in to get Gospel Light on the board, 4-2 Lake Norman. Here goes Clay Robinson. Quick slice to Curtis. Did he step out of bounds? And the point is that he did, or was it a foul on the floor on Curtis? Being an inbound, so not in the act of shooting, did not go OB, that was just a foul. So Allen Spack will get it to Joyful Hawkins, and Hawkins will toss it up, trying to hook it in. Hawkins still has it, and recovered by Josh Bullock, and now Bullock trying to go all the way. He got hit, he touches his face after the hard foul, and Josh Bullock will go to the free throw line for our first shots of the night from there.
First team second. On the line, shooting 2, Josh Bullock.
Bullock gets the first. Interesting, though, this evening, it's probably the biggest storyline of the night, not having Mikey Williams. So how does Lake Norman score? How do they respond? Losing the big number one as Bullock gets 2 of 2. It's a 6-2 lead for Lake Norman over Gospel Light. 5 minutes to go first quarter. Turnover. Clay Robinson has it. Robinson will heave it up to Joyful Hawkins, and then Hawkins getting it back to A.J. Allen Spack, and then Spack with the slam.
Basket by A.J. Allensbach.
8-2 lead for Lake Norman over Gospel Light. There's those moves in transition that the Osprey have been putting on display all season long. Quick shot, tried to bank it, it's off. Osprey coming back after the miss by Jerron Walker. Here's Curtis, and Curtis trying to go behind the back. Maybe he thought another teammate was there. It's going to prompt Riley Allensbach into the game now. He goes to the scorer's table. 3 ball is missed by Angel Acosta. Here's Clay Robinson now. Nowhere to go with it, at least on his own. Trying to get it to Allensbach. Robinson back. Slicing, dicing, kicking now to Joyful Hawkins for 3. That one's off. Boarded by Evan Eads. I think everyone was really expecting a big battle between, well, that's why it was called the battle, of course, but they were expecting Mikey and Imani Bates to really go at each other and maybe have a 20-plus point affair for both of them. It didn't really work out. In fact, Imani Bates wasn't really all that big of a presence on Saturday. Up and just off. Missed by Drew Walker. Now here's Jonathan Curtis. Curtis initially missed, but he was there for the follow and kind of shakes his head on the way back. And that'll prompt our first timeout of the night with 3:20 to go in the opening quarter. 10-2 lead for Lake Norman over Gospel Light. But again, back to Saturday because that's everything that leads us into it. Trey Green, of course, was big. That was a 68-64 final on Saturday as Mikey had 19, Trey Green had 16. Imani Bates had 20, but I think maybe some people were thinking Imani going off for 20 plus at least. He did. Maybe Mikey would be right there with him. In fact, as you look back to the stats, both of them had a combined 39 points, but it was really Trey Green who got that big 3 with about 40 seconds left on Saturday. And that's not the first clutch 3 late that he's hit this year. Remember, he got a big one against Victory Christian as well. Drew Walker missing on the 3 as we're back underway. 10-2 Lake Norman. Robinson spins it to Riley Allensbach. That one went out of bounds. It's a turnover. Allensbach at 6'9". His brother A.J. Allensbach at 6'8". There's the Twin Towers, as the saying goes. In fact, now it's a good little name to pick up for Trey Green. Big Shot Trey, almost. That's kind of how he's been this season. He's sure to be a presence here tonight, especially again with Mikey Williams out with that groin injury. Jerron Walker against Bullock. Walker now got the handoff and then goes all the way and finishes. Jerron Walker lays it in. 10-4 Lake Norman over Gospel Light. 2:24 to go, first frame. Here's Hawkins. Hawkins trying to go above 2 defenders. Just missed it as Hawkins was trying to go with the hook shot, but he was well defended. It's probably going to take 2 to stop Joyful Hawkins most nights. Remember that big jam he had last week for those that were able to join us on SUV TV last Tuesday. And Hawkins nails the first free throw, but that monster slam that got attention on the overtime account. In fact, I think it was Overtime Next that had the video of Joyful Hawkins and that big dunk. There was an Instagram video of Mikey in the car with Joyful Hawkins, and Mikey actually did a screenshot of that dunk, sent it out. There's a deep 3 by Austin Roberts. Roberts maybe 3-4 paces back of the three-point line. He sinks it 11-7. The edge for Lake Norman. 3 coming in now for the Osprey. Robinson, Shane Fernald. Then J.P. Haggerty. There's a 3 by Joyful Hawkins. Hawkins has that range from outside, and sometimes you forget to play him as closely as you might play another guard. And Hawkins has no problem making you pay for not playing him. 14-7 Lake Norman, doubling up Gospel Light. Under 90 seconds to go, first quarter. Here's a steal by Trey Green, the big guy from Saturday, and Trey Green will lay it in. Thought for a second, maybe I'll go up for the stuff, but thought better of it as well. He just lays it in, 15-7. Check that, 16-7. 16-7 the lead for Lake Norman with 1:11 to go. First quarter. So we continue to roll along, and we encourage you to continue to communicate in the live chat that's available below. See that quite a few of you are already doing that, about 200 of you in that live chat. Here goes JP Haggerty. Haggerty trying to finger roll it in. Under a minute left first quarter. 16-7 lead Lake Norman, up by 9. Quick shot, off. Missed by Roberts. What does Trey Green do tonight with Mikey gone? I guess we're getting ready to find out. Trey Green, he's working right now, was going against Eads. Robinson will stop and back everything off at the top and work some offense. Haggerty. Green, under 30 seconds left first quarter. Spin by Trey Green, he almost spun and won. Boarded by Eads, and Gospel Light will try to hold for the final shot here. Eads gets doubled by Robinson and Green. Now Eads right along the out-of-bounds line, and he turns it over. Up quickly to Shane Fernald. Fernald will lay it in. He got fouled as well, so it's a hurting the hoop for Shane Fernald on the nice feed by Trey Green, and Green acknowledges that on his way back to the bench. He was really covered up well right along the baseline across the way, and got it out of trouble after the steal, and then shoveled it up to Fernald, who did the rest. Short on the three-point play try for the free throw. Isaac Sisk, close to the scorer's table, went out. It'll stay Gospel Light ball. And Drew Walker will bounce it in. Walker flings it, it's caught and almost put up by Evan Eads. Pretty spectacular just to find Eads, and had to send that ball through multiple defenders and then his teammates as well, and it almost worked out. But we've got 8 minutes in the second quarter on the way as Lake Norman leads this one 18-7. So an 11-point edge for the Osprey over Gospel Light. Second quarter coming up. Should mention, as always, and all of our great sponsors that, of course, make all these broadcasts possible. They've been with us all year, and we always want to make sure that we acknowledge them as, again, we welcome everyone here on a Monday night. Limitless Sports Events, Zone Sports as well. Limitless Sports Events, a premier youth basketball tournament provider in the Carolinas, priding themselves on giving teams and coaches an unrivaled tournament experience. Limitless Sports. And also Zone Sports as well. But can't forget, coming up March 5th through the 7th, Zone Sports and Limitless Sports are partners tonight. But Limitless Sports Events, that 5th annual Battle at the Lake coming up March 5th through the 7th. A 3+ game guarantee. You can get in for a little under $400. Learn more and register at limitlessports.com. That's Limitless Sports, S-P-O-R-T-Z, Sports. Back underway, and a turnover to start the second quarter. And here is JP Haggerty, who was defended from behind. And Haggerty, normally he flushes that right down, but it's a miss on the jam try. Here's a three by Sisk that doesn't fall. Trey Green will pull up with Roberts right in front of him. Missed it, but Shane Fernald there with the follow and finish. 20-7, Lake Norman. In one way, of course, the big topic tonight, Mikey not being here, but if you think about it, with Mikey sitting out a game or two, it seems like something he's been dealing with throughout the year. So if it doesn't give him a chance to come back in the playoffs to be fully strong. But one thing about Lake Norman with Trey Green, everyone else is still healthy. So Really just missing Mikey tonight, who hasn't been a big scorer the last handful of games, maybe the last 6-7 games. Pretty much ever since Pat McCarthy took over as Lake Norman's head coach. As Austin Roberts is in and out on the first free throw try, but Mikey's not been someone who's had to score 30 points every game. He can dish it and he can set up teammates, so you miss a little bit of that tonight, but there's plenty of capable scorers for Lake Norman as that one rolls off by Roberts. And so it's a fruitless trip to the line that time for Austin Roberts, and Lake Norman comes back with it with Trey Green past the logo and into front court. Here's JP Haggerty, will pull up for that deep three, and he got it. JP for 1, 2, 3, 23-7. Lake Norman starting to edge it out a little bit here. What's that, a 16-point edge already, unless my math is flipped on me. I think I'm right. Back at school, might as well work on your mental math, right? Here's a turnover. Trey Green gets on it, and Green then got it to Robinson. A lot of spinning here trying to avoid the trap. To JP Haggerty, who got fouled. And Haggerty will go to the free throw line, trying to make it 4 quick points in a row, possibility for 5 in a row.
Foul on Daniel Hawtrey, his first, team's 5th. On the line, shooting 2, JP Haggerty.
Haggerty, a couple struggles there as well. Can't get anything to go with the line. Driving is Roberts. Looked like he got fouled. Check that. Evan Eads was on the drive, and he'll go to the free throw line for Gospel Light.
This is his first, team's 4.
Eads is good on the first. Here comes Drew Walker to come in, who replaced Daniel Hawtrey, who comes out. That big win on Saturday, a second win this season for Lake Norman against top 25 opposition. Remember, Word of God taken down by Lake Norman as Eads gets 2 to make it 28-9 Lake Norman, but I think everything kind of started with Lake Norman in that Word of God game, and they've continued it since that time. And remember, Combine tomorrow. That's a really big one. Another top 25 team tomorrow night. That's at Combine's house, the Farm. And everyone will be looking forward to that one. So this is the warm-up, if you will, to tomorrow night's big one after Haggerty missed on the 3. And that will go out of bounds. Probably a loose ball foul there on Lake Norman. As we get a chance with Mikey out tonight, we'll see some players we don't normally get to see in the second quarter of all times, as Dimitri McCall, number 20 for Lake Norman, is in. And McCall right against Jerron Walker, at least he was for a moment. Now Trey Green is on Walker. And that's a turnover taken by Haggerty, who will go all the way, split the defenders. That's what JP Haggerty can do. He's a big guy, you know, he's 6'5 plus, but he can motor down the floor and move like a smaller guard, and that's every big player for Lake Norman. They all have those moves. Alan Spack can do that. We've seen it all season long. Fernald can do it. Very mobile despite the size, and these guys are going to grow probably 7 feet plus. There's a missed 3 for Austin Roberts into turnover as it went out of bounds. Five minutes to go before the break. Roberts. Haggerty will go now, and he'll keep rumbling along the baseline. He goes up, and he got it. So 27-9, the lead for Lake Norman. So get our score correct here. Score is in a tough place to see, and I think we've got an idea about it now. So again, working out the surroundings. Got a foul, and Evan Eads will go to the line.
Team red, second 6.
Eads at the stripe is off on the first. And Eads gets a split to get Gospel Light into double figures tonight. They're still down by 17 as Lake Norman puts it in. But if you do think back about how things kind of got started for Lake Norman, they were going through really what was still a pretty good series of basketball. But then making the coaching change a couple weeks ago, here's a three after the defensive stop that's off by Austin Roberts. Now Clay Robinson in transition, and he will go all the way. And Robinson got through multiple defenders as well. 29-10, Lake Norman leads by 19, under 4 to go in the first half. But the United Faith lost last Tuesday at Mountain Island Fitness, the new, for the moment, home gym for Lake Norman until they get the backboard fixed. We were there last Tuesday, but that snapped a winning streak as that one's blocked away from Austin Roberts, and we've got 5 new ones coming in for Lake Norman. Hawkins, Curtis, Riley Allensbach, AJ Allensbach, and Josh Bullock now in for the Osprey. But that winning streak snapped, the loss I should say, snapped what was a 7-game roll for Lake Norman. And they have bounced back though, took down North Hills Christian last Friday night, and then of course on Saturday defeating Ypsi Prep by 4. And it's Combine on Tuesday, and then Haywood Christian Academy scheduled for Friday. Of course, the schedule has been a little up and down ever since Lake Norman shut down for a few weeks around Christmas time. Here's A.J. Allensbach for 3, too much on it. Hawkins with the offensive rebound. Now Joyful will go against Drew Walker. And Joyful Hawkins, there's no way you're stopping him. That's a size difference that is always going to win for Hawkins, and we've got a timeout with Lake Norman up by 21, 31-10 with 3 minutes to go in the opening half. But you're right here now towards the end of the regular season with a game tomorrow night and a game on Friday scheduled. That should be it, as then we move into the playoff schedule and see what Lake Norman does in the postseason. But the competition has been stout for Lake Norman, but it hasn't really mattered. They've mowed through everyone for the most part. If you look at their record, of course, their losses on the season are few and far between, but started out against Oak Hill Academy, which has traditionally been a high school powerhouse for years. It's where Ben Wallace came out of Virginia Union, but Oak Hill has been a training ground for so many years, and that was their initial loss to start the season. Reeled off some easy wins. Their competition was pretty poor to start, and they had some easier teams to top. They fell to Kell down in Georgia around Thanksgiving. That was that Scoot Henderson-Mikey Williams matchup. Then got right back going. Sunrise Christian got them, and that was the Battle at the Rock game in which Sunrise Christian topped Lake Norman 89-67, but Sunrise Christian, a top 3 team in the nation. One of the, if not the very best high school team in the United States. But ever since then, really throughout the loss against Victory Christian and the United Faith loss, Lake Norman's been perfect since falling to Sunrise Christian back in early December. Quick up to Riley Allensbach, but now it's Hawkins who has it along the baseline, and Joyful couldn't quite get it. Tagged the rim, but that was it. He was defended well, especially by defenders going against Joyful Hawkins and their recent history, which is not too great. Again, the big poster last Tuesday night tells you all you need to know there, as Joyful just obliterated his defender. 2:17 to go before the break. 21-point edge for Lake Norman over Gospel Light. They have pretty well controlled this one. Ball's loose on the floor, taken over by Josh Bullock as Sisk lost it. Now Bullock, he's got a whistle and a foul. Did he pick that up? Looks like he did, so it should be free throws now for, or will this be taken out? Still trying to make sure it will be taken out on shooting foul, so A.J. Allensbach will inbound. Hawkins Now Allensbach kicking it over to Riley Allensbach. One brother missed, the other brother did not. A.J. Allensbach follows it up. And that'll make it 33-10 Lake Norman. Thought about a three to Drew Walker. Now he drives inside. He got completely rejected by Jonathan Curtis. Quick up now to Bullock, trying to get it to Joyful Hawkins. Not quite. So close, almost. That connection in transition usually works between really anyone trying to get Joyful Hawkins involved. He can motor down the floor. He can move so quick. We've talked about those big guys so much already tonight. 1:23 to go before halftime. And it's all Lake Norman. Hand off now to Eads, now back to Walker, who goes against Bullock. Mid-range try is short. Great defense that time on Acosta from Riley Allensbach. Now here's Joyful Hawkins, and Hawkins took the bump, tried to put it up and in, and it was Curtis who was there trying to follow it up, slaps the hands after he couldn't do it. Under a minute to go before intermission. Acosta trying again. That time it was just, I'll go ahead and try to put the shot up as quick as possible to avoid the defender. Ball's loose on the floor, and it'll be a turnover to wind up being a giveaway. Gospel Lights has it, but they missed it. Inside with Eads, couldn't get it to go. Still loose. Push off foul. Allensbach had it at midcourt. JP Haggerty gets set to check in. And it'll be A.J. Allensbach out. Just to talk a little bit with Coach Pat McCarthy, and then a pat on the back there. So one of those many learning moments. You can see the change coming immediately as McCarthy looked down the edge, the side of the bench, and got Haggerty to come in to replace Allensbach. First free throw up and in. So Drew Walker at the line. He gets two. 33-12 Lake Norman. Here's Bullock. Haggerty, bounce, Hawkins. That's an offensive foul. Gospel Light will have it. Hawkins picks up the foul. Under 20 seconds left, first half, and Lake Norman will press. Jerron Walker gets double teamed by Bullock and Haggerty, and Josh Bullock comes up with a turnover. So the double team on defense worked. Fling it to Joyful Hawkins along the baseline, out to Haggerty, who tried to go up with it, and then somehow it was Jonathan Curtis who got in there, and then he flushed it down. So it looked like a ball that was loose, got gobbled up by Curtis, and then Curtis, no issues at all, like always. Jonathan Curtis can rattle the rim. 35-12, the lead for Lake Norman at the break. We've got our halftime break, and then the second half coming up on SUV TV. So back in about 10 minutes and change, we're going to have a competition here at halftime, and we'll let them do that, and we'll catch our breath and come back for second half action. SUV TV, the spot on this Monday night.
We've only got one pizza. We've only got one pizza.
pizza. Make sure they pay. All right. Don't pay yet, don't pay. You only give them all when they pay. All right. Oh, you pay, you gotta pay. Don't give them all, don't pay. You pay, that's all you pay. Only give them all when you pay. If this guy's paying, did y'all pay? All right, go. Get ready. We've only got one pizza, go. Go. Okay, we gotta make sure we pay and stay in line. Who? Who's paid? Who's paid? You paid? Alright. We've only got one pizza left. Oh! Wait a minute, this guy's right here. These guys, who's paid? I can't tell who's paid and who hasn't paid. These two right here, alright. If we get a straight line, y'all can get a straight line and hold on to your dollar. Hold on to your dollar. Did you just shoot? You already shot? All right, go. All right. David, like I said, no refunds. Don't give up your dollar until you get a ball. Don't give up your dollar until you get a ball. That way we're sure. Ooh. Here we go. Don't give up your dollar until you got a ball. That way we can keep track. Don't give up your dollar until you get in line. Stay in line. Thank you. All right, go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Don't give up your dollar until you pay. Go. There we go. All right, go. Hey, Lion, come right here and give the basketball to the next one. Go to the Lion. Go to the Lion. Here you go, Lion. All right. Get to the next person in line. Oh, I don't think anybody wants a pizza tonight. Can you give it all? All right, let go. All right. Oh, yeah! Oh! I thought that was the one. We got a winner! We got a winner. Thank you so much. All these people are like, I want a piece. I am your best friend. Please give me a piece of pizza. That's where all those people are right there. All right, come on over here. I'll make sure you get your piece of pizza. Don't forget, at the third quarter, into the third quarter, we're going to give away another gift card. At the end of the third quarter. All right, I got some ladies who don't think Mr. Crosby's got any game, and they were willing to give up $1 to see if Mr. Crosby can hit a half-court shot. Give me that ball. How many do you think Mr. Crosby can hit a half-court shot? Hey, Lee, do you think I even hit the backboard? Oh, he doesn't even think I made it to the white line. Hey, come here, Mr. Ryan. Here you go. I'm old. I need a running start. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you for coming out this evening. We really appreciate it.
Walkertown, North Carolina, Monday night, high school basketball. Getting ready for the second half. Corey Hodges back here with you on SUV TV, our solo ride tonight. And we thank all of you for hopping aboard and getting ready for our second half coverage, as it's really been all Lake Norman so far. They have the lead at the break. They'll look to extend that, trying to pick up their 18th win of the season. It's 35-12. That's the lead for the Osprey. Over 230 in the chat tonight, about 240 checking in on our stream. And off and away we go, second half here from Gospel Light Christian School in Walkertown, North Carolina. Joyful Hawkins tried to go, but he got hit with the offensive foul, so take that away.
Joyful Hawkins is second, team's first.
Gospel Light comes back with Jerron Walker. Had Damian Banks check in with us a little bit earlier, so Damian can't be here tonight. Hope everything's going well with your family, but thanks for checking in a little bit earlier. Appreciate it, bud. And we encourage everyone to continue to chat. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and leave them in the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on it as we go here in the second half, and we'll engage with all of you. Pretty good block last time down defensively. Now Lake Norman trying to turn defense to offense, and there's Clay Robinson with the three. Jerron Walker at the top, and Walker going against Bullock. Lake Norman has pushed Gospel Light out onto the perimeter a lot. Of course, then again, when you got someone like Jonathan Curtis down there, how can you get over him? And there's Curtis with the big block on Eads. It comes back down to Angel Acosta, who missed on the mid-range jumper try. Here's Clay Robinson. Robinson trying to go no look that time to Allensbach. Ball got tipped. That's what Coach Pat McCarthy wanted the call to be for Lake Norman, but no tip. That's out of bounds. And it was last touched by Lake Norman, and we're back. Jerron Walker. Bounce it now, Austin Roberts. Roberts. Walker tried to go along the baseline, but he was blocked over and blocked out by Robinson. Kick to the corner. Here's Evan Eads for three. That's one way for Gospel Light to get going. They're going to call that a long two by Eads. So Joyful Hawkins, he's looking for that three. In and out, it ricochets. A.J. Allensbach with the offensive board. And Joyful Hawkins inside with the big jam. Hawkins all the way to the rim for a rattler on a Monday night. That'll wake you up. 40-14, Lake Norman with an exclamation mark. Three, corner, good. Is that a three by Austin Roberts? Yep, they'll rule that a three. So 40-17 now. Robinson to Joyful Hawkins. Bounce it now to Jonathan Curtis. Overcoming two defenders. Initial miss, follow is good. Trying out a long three. Not quite. Hawkins boards. Testing at that time was Austin Roberts. He decided to go deep. Bullock misses. Boarded by Roberts. 5 minutes to go third quarter in what's been a pretty breezy game. Started a little bit after 8 o'clock. We're only about 40 or so minutes in. Walker. Handoff Roberts, who goes against Robinson for Lake Norman. That ball got tipped. Hawkins keeping it Lake Norman's way. Here's A.J. Allensbach. He got fouled. Curtis will slam it, but that's after the whistle. And A.J. Allensbach to the free throw line to keep the lead going up for Lake Norman. They look to be well on their way to a mark of 18-5. Missed on both. Hawkins cleans up that second miss, and then Allensbach is there with the follow. So got his 2 points anyway. A.J. Allensbach. Doesn't matter. He missed two at the line. Just keep it going. Fly right in there. Get two either way. Doesn't matter. 44-17. Lake Norman up big and looking to keep it going. Here's a three from the very top. Rattled in. Three ball by Drew Walker. 44-20 Lake Norman. Robinson will spin against Walker. Jerron Walker, that is. Here's Bullock going against Sisk. And Josh Bullock cans it. That's a long two.
That's good by Josh Bullock.
Drew Walker wants to drive, but he's met by Allensbach and Hawkins. Is that a shooting foul on Walker? I would assume it would be, and it is. We'll go to the free throw line.
Foul on A.J. Allensbach, his third, team second.
Off on the first. Back to back at the line, or checked out a split that time, my apologies. My attention was elsewhere. 46-21, a 25-point edge for Lake Norman as we've got a timeout on the floor. Checking out the chat. And for those still checking in, Mikey Williams, Julian Shakia is checking in, just leaving a comment. Where's Mikey? Mikey's out tonight with a groin injury. It caught quite a few of us by surprise a little bit earlier. I checked in on Mikey's Instagram around 1, 2 o'clock because you can find out a lot about what Mikey's up to on there. After all, it is Instagram, and that's, if you want to find out what the young people are thinking about, talking about, what they're doing, you've got to go on Instagram. But Mikey announced that he had a groin injury. He's been nursing it throughout the season. And he's been playing a lot. He hasn't really missed a game all season long for the most part. He's been everywhere. So he's out tonight with a groin injury, and he'll look to get that taken care of. I would expect him to be at Combine tomorrow night. Probably not too much of a reach to expect that, but it's one of these games almost like a rest game in a sense. Load management, if you will, if there is such a thing as load management in high school basketball. Maybe tonight would have been the night for Mikey to take a spell, but you know, he is absent tonight, but he would have had a big crowd. Good feed. Jonathan Curtis from Clay Robinson. And Curtis rolls it in.
That's returned by Jonathan Curtis.
Again, keep that chat going. We'll check in on it here and there. Try not to forget about you too much as we're got plenty of other things pulled up on a myriad of screens. Here's Josh Bullock. Bullock leaps it up to Joyful Hawkins. Hawkins got fouled, trying to go for that oop in transition, and Hawkins will now do it from the free throw line. Almost had another big one there, but that rattler from earlier still ringing everyone's ears. Pretty packed house here tonight as well. Hawkins short on the first free throw. Joyful has attention from some big schools. Not a surprise at all when you see his abilities. Joyful Hawkins looks like someone who could play in college right now. Hawkins gets a split out of it. What he does too with his dunking ability, and he can follow and finish with the best. Traffic doesn't really disturb him. Turnover, or is it? No, it's Gospel Light who still hangs on to this. Turning it in goes Walker. Allensbach with the rebound. 2:30 to go, third quarter. Ball's loose, picked up, laid in. That's a rare moment of something good tonight for Gospel Light as Angel Acosta lays it in. 49-23, Lake Norman clear by 26. Jonathan Curtis now on the baseline, and Curtis didn't even have to go up and get too physical with it, just lay it in. And Lake Norman cracks the half-century mark. Hawkins has interest from Auburn, Georgia, Texas Tech, and Xavier. He has offers from those 4 schools for Lake Norman. And I think from what you've already seen tonight from Joyful Hawkins, you can understand why. Here's Clay Robinson. He'll pull up. Maybe he had a foot on the line that time. Either way, it's a miss. Hawkins tracks it down. 1:48 to go in the third. Now Jonathan Curtis will slam it, but it's waved off. 4 coming in for Lake Norman. Check that 5 as Fernald gives a hand up to Trey Green. And that's been the name of the game tonight for head coach Pat McCarthy. He's going to put 5 in and then take 5 out and do it that way. That's like a 2K sub in right there. It looks like me playing NBA 2K. Take 5 out, put 5 in. Because I'm not really going to play around too much with lineups. I'm just going to let 5 go out, get tired, and then put in a fresh 5-some. That's what McCarthy's doing tonight. But in a game in which you're leading by 25 plus, you can do that without fearing too much about how much that may shake up play on the floor. 1:36 to go in the third. Free throws coming up for Evan Eads. Seconds to go in the third. 51-24, all Lake Norman. Here goes Trey Green. Green drives, trying to contort. Here's Haggerty with a 3, not quite. And Gospel Light will take back over.
Dimitri O'Connell, it's his third team score.
Isaac Sisk, who was on the game program, if you want to call it that. He was on the picture on Gospel Light's Twitter account earlier today, so got him a little publicity there. Boarded by Riley Allensback, and here's Trey Green. Green going against Sisk. Fernald. There you go, another big guy for Lake Norman who can move. Look at Fernald cut it in from the perimeter line. Lost out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Osprey with time winding down, third period. Fernald to McCall, and now Green. Green will get a screen set here by Riley Allensback. Trying to turn that corner. And then flung it over to Haggerty, but that'll go the other way. Eads against Green. Loose ball picked up by Trey Green, just barely. Oh, Green got it to Fernald. He did that on his back. Shane Fernald missed it. Ooh, what a basket that would have been. Trey Green was completely on his back on the floor, and then he tossed that up to Fernald, who almost put it in. Basket by Austin Roberts. Fling at the end of the third is off, and it's 51-26, Lake Norman after 3 quarters of play. Just kind of playing around here tonight for the Osprey, trying out a few things that normally they probably wouldn't give it a shot, but they've been in control since just a couple minutes into the first quarter. Again, our partners tonight helping us put these broadcasts on all season long. And that's Zone Sports and Limitless Sports Events. Limitless Sports Events, a premier youth basketball tournament provider in the Carolinas. They pride themselves on giving teams and coaches an unrivaled tournament experience. That's Limitless Sports Events. Remember sports, S-P-O-R. TZ. Limitless Sports Events also presenting that 5th annual Battle at the Lake, March 5th through the 7th. This year, why else? Why else would it be any other year? Of course it would be 2021. March 5th through the 7th, coming up here in a little under a month. 3+ game guarantee. Learn more, register at limitlesssports.com. You can get your 3 games for your team, and you can do it for under $400 in that Battle at the Lake. Corey Hodges here with you on SUV TV on this Tuesday night. It's Lake Norman breezing through on a Monday against Gospel Light. And back we go. Ball's loose, picked up by Fernald, and Shane Fernald will lay it in.
That's the night, Shane Fernald.
Austin Roberts will now go against Riley Allensbach. Got help from Acosta. Now driving along the baseline, that's Roberts. Lost it out of bounds. It'll stay Gospel Light ball. Jerron Walker will come in for the Lions. And Sisk will take a seat. Good work on the inbounds. Angel Acosta following the nice feed from Walker. 53-28, Lake Norman. Here's Fernald for 3, short on it, boarded by Acosta, or did he clean it up completely? No, he was a little loose on it, and that's how Shane Fernald got 2 points out of the trip. Acosta couldn't quite control it all the way. Roberts high over his head. Who's he going to give it to? Walker. Time moving here, 6:37 to go in regulation. I don't figure Gospel Light's going to be able to make a comeback here, especially not after that. A lot of standing around, and then it was Drew Walker trying to get it to Jerron Walker, and that's a pretty bad turnover right there, especially with all of the offense kind of moving through screens, trying to set each other up. If you're going to run the offense pretty slow like that, the last thing you want is to give it away, especially because you're not really even rushing. Oh well, it's last possession. Here's Trey Green. Haggerty for 3. Straight swish. JP Haggerty from 3. And Lake Norman keeps it rolling here. Yeah, the big guys for Lake Norman can shoot 3s too. That's what's amazing about it. 59-28. 58-28. Check that after the 3. Again, it's one of those scoreboards in which there's 2 little, I guess you would call them, a frame above that scoreboard that has the typical kind of grill around it to keep it from being hit by a basketball and kind of protects the digital readout. But as a result, that one of those bars comes right above the away team score, so it sometimes distorts that second digit. That's just an excuse for me to go back after a couple of score issues, but yeah, it's not really in a tough spot to see. It's just there's a little part of that grill that obscures the last part of the number for the guest score. Whatever. It's just it's a bad excuse if nothing else. Trey Green, after a couple at the line to make it a 25-plus game, up to the rim from Green. He was trying to get someone to come in and clean it. It was Riley Allensbach who was close. 58-30, Lake Norman clear by 28. Here's Trey Green for 3. Gospel Light ball. Now talking it over. Who's got the ball? We're in a bonus situation for the first time tonight.
It is his third team set.
3 officials get together, and to the line goes Austin Roberts, who's ready to go.
It's his fourth.
Seems like a technical foul has been picked up by Riley Allensbach for Lake Norman. At least that's the announcement from the scoring table. So we'll have free throws now for Austin Roberts with 5:19 to go. And remember, one of these obviously a technical free throw. And not quite on the tech. Couple free throws there. Miss on one, got the second. The Lions keep possession after the couple technical tries. Jerron Walker against Green at midcourt. Drew Walker now against Fernald. Up and off, but Drew Walker stayed with it, and that's going to let Austin Roberts have another try, and Roberts will lay it in. Probably the best play of the night for Gospel Light. There haven't been a whole lot of them, but sticking with the possession that time and getting the ball to the runner for Roberts, who was motoring hard. Here's Trey Green, counts, and the foul. Is that a three-point play on Green? It is. Three-point play coming up. Trey Green, 60-33, the edge for Lake Norman. All this tonight without Mikey Williams. Pretty impressive.
Basket by Trey Green was good. He's on the line shooting one.
Green completes the three-point play. Well, final 4:30 on this Monday night as we have just crossed the 9 o'clock hour. So this looks like a game may only take about an hour and change. Up and off by Jerron Walker. Bullock will bring it back for the Osprey, who are just 4:10 away from win number 18. Here it goes, up to A.J. Allensbach. It's off. Almost. Evan Eads boards it. Bullock was looking at A.J. Allensbach the whole time. Knocked out of bounds into the Gospel Light bench from Bullock. Drew Walker for three with a hand in his face, and he got it. A little bit too little too late here in the fourth frame, as Lake Norman already has a nice enough lead. Jonathan Curtis, they want a foul on Curtis. No offensive foul, but Curtis didn't get the basket anyway on the turnaround try. Jabbin, Eads, jabbing again against Bullock. Ball's loose, picked up by Acosta, 3:20 to go. And Gospel Light wants a timeout.
30-second timeout, Gospel Light.
Gospel Light coming in with 16 wins on the year, but this looks like it'll be a loss to fall to 16-4 if everything stays the same over the final couple minutes. A team that's won a decent amount of games this season, all things considered. It's under the leadership of head coach Jimmy Trexler. In fact, coming into the night, Gospel Light, again, the competition level is a little wonky sometimes when you get into some of these lower divisions, but obviously Lake Norman's been so dominant this year because there are some easier games in this conference, this region, this classification isn't maybe would be as you go up the ladder, but still, it doesn't take anything away from what Lake Norman's done this year. You still got to go out there and play. You still have to bring the energy every night. Sometimes it's not all that easy to do that. Sometimes the energy is just not there, but again, it's a good crowd here tonight. It's thinned out a bit as we've gone, but walking in here about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, this place is pretty well packed. And a good crowd for the varsity girls game that went on right before our game. For those that were trying to join us around the 7:30 hour, we had to delay a couple times due to that varsity girls game, but it went on a little bit longer than expected. Gospel Light got the win in that one, but Gospel Light, prior to tonight, free throws now for Walker. He gets the first, but had rattled off 3 wins in a row. Before that, they won every game in a win streak that stretched from January the 25th all the way back to November the 13th. So for a month and a half plus, Gospel Light did not lose. In fact, it was a 12-game winning streak for Gospel Light earlier in the season, taking down Faith Christian twice, Rockingham twice. And a couple of those wins in tournament play as well. 2:30 to go. Here's Bullock with the mid-range swish. Fading away to add on to the difficulty of that shot. All the way, but off from Acosta. Robinson, hand in his face, miss. Eads, rebound. Trying to go to distance, but he's met by Riley Allensback. Now, Allensback a little perplexed after the call, as it will stay Gospel Light ball. He thought he had a clean block. Thought he at least maybe avoided it, but Gospel Light will stay here with them as Hawkins, Robinson, Bullock, Curtis, and a couple others come back to the bench for Lake Norman, so another decent-sized substitution. There's a 3 by Drew Walker. Walker's been a bright spot tonight, haven't been a whole lot. And here's a response 3 on the other end from Haggerty that's just a bit short. 90 seconds left on a Monday night. Walker against Haggerty. Trying to go through 2, kick ball out of bounds, staying here with Gospel Light. It's given Coach Pat McCarthy for Lake Norman a chance to run through his bench a little bit tonight. We've seen Dimitri McCall out there on a handful of occasions for Lake Norman, and we get a look, really for the first time this year, with our broadcast here on SUV TV of Lake Norman without Mikey Williams and how they look. They look really good. Probably look better now than they would have been maybe back in November and December, but you get Joyful Hawkins out there and A.J. Allensback, and you get those 2 guards, Robinson and Green, going. You can suffer without Mikey here and there, and it has to make Lake Norman feel great, even without Mikey. Pretty convincing win over a team that's, I know it's looked a little ragged at times this evening for Gospel Light, but they still entered the evening with 16 wins. So if you're just looking at wins and losses, it was only a 1-win difference between Lake Norman and Gospel Light coming into the night, as Drew Walker, his trip to the line, as we are knocking on the door of 1 minute left tonight. And thanks to everyone for joining us on this Monday evening. Fernald got the feed from Robinson, or check that, Green got it to him, and Fernald did the rest, or that was Riley Allensback that time. Allensback with the lay-in. Bumped. There's Fernald getting in against Eads, and now Shane Fernald will take it into front court. Here's Trey Green slicing, and Trey Green will get all the way to the rack. Green blew by Drew Walker for another late game highlight for Trey Green. It's not a a game-deciding highlight like the one on Saturday down at the Battle, but still, Trey Green just making some space. 24 seconds left in this one. Tough shot off, no whistle either for Eads. McCall cleans it, Fernald has it, and Shane Fernald to get called off here by Coach Pat McCarthy, and Lake Norman will go ahead and just dribble this thing out. 67-41, Lake Norman wins by 26. They top Gospel Light, and Lake Norman has 18 wins on the year. They moved to 18-5 and 4-2 in region play. Gospel Light falls to 16-4 overall. So a big win tonight for Lake Norman, despite missing Mikey Williams. That's a quick turnaround as well. Saturday down at the Battle, and then coming right back on a Monday, getting a win. And they'll play on throughout the week and then get to the postseason, our season-long coverage of Lake Norman basketball. Our appearance here on a Monday, a rare Monday for high school hoops, and it's a victory for the Osprey over the Lions, 67-41 as Lake Norman gets the victory for Marcus Burnett. Everyone here on SUV TV, thanks to the 300 plus that were checking us out tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Give you a little bit of distraction on a Monday night. Nothing better than high school basketball for that distraction. Corey Hodges saying so long on a Monday evening from Walkertown, North Carolina. Lake Norman gets the win. So long and happy Monday.